These past few weeks, I've been moving through a lower, more depressive phase of life, and I found myself needing to retreat a lot, not really wanting to interact with the world. I was stuck in spirals about my existence here and struggled to find beauty in the mundanity of day-to-day life. I'm starting to feel myself re-emerge from this cocoon and enter back into the world. So I wanted to share a few ways I journey through these phases, how I hold myself with nurturance and love as I would a child, and know that this too will shift and move along. So when I start to notice these emotions pop up, I'll take some time to identify what it is that would have triggered these moods. I think it's really important to ask myself what this emotion is here to tell me, because I don't think that we are our emotions. I think that we are vessels that experience emotions, and our emotions are messengers to bring our attention to certain areas of our life. So, for example, if I'm feeling super angry, I kind of have to sit with myself for a little bit and be like, what is this anger trying to tell me? Either one of my values has been dismissed or one of my personal boundaries has been crossed. I kind of have to notice if there's anything that I can do in that moment to maybe change that situation, or is that just something that I have to accept, sit with, and let that go. The other important thing that I do to just nurture myself is to release in whatever way that means. And lately I've been turning to my journal and free flow whatever it is that I need to let out. That means that I could rant, I could vent, I can say all of the ugly, nasty thoughts in my mind and know that this space is free to just hold all of that, and it's a space where I can express everything within me without any fear of judgment, without any sort of shame. That's really powerful because it lets me know all of me, even the darkest parts of me, are worthy of being acknowledged. They don't mean anything about me or my nature, but to acknowledge that they're there takes off the pressure of repressing them and maybe stifling them down where they can sort of bottle up. So I think having that safe space of journaling has been really, really powerful and healing for me. And normally I'll do either like a free flow, just brain dump of whatever I'm feeling, or I might write out some poetry if that comes naturally. I might sketch, or just expressing myself in any way that feels the most natural to me. And another thing I've been loving is speaking when I don't have the tools around me to maybe journal or to write. And I've been loving my voice notes. Speaking about something and hearing it come out through your own voice is extremely powerful and lets you process things in a way in which you might not have seen before. Lets you know that your voice is also very powerful. Your voice is also very worthy of being heard, and it never has to go anywhere. No one has to hear it. But I think that the voice, the throat, is a powerful energy center that we suppress a lot. To be able to tap into it and let it move out through you freely is honestly so empowering and really breaks through a lot of that social conditioning that we've been placed into. The other thing that is so crucial is to throw my phone away, just fucking get it out of my sight. My relationship to my phone and to social media in general is so complex, and I feel like I could make a whole other video just deep diving into that. But one of my main triggers is Instagram, seeing other people on there living that highlight life. I know that if I'm already in quite a vulnerable state, I don't want to be entering into that digital world. There's a couple of things that I do. I have this app called OneSec. I would really, really, really recommend you guys downloading it if social media usage is an issue or something that you're dealing with or struggling with, because I know for me it's definitely an addiction. The app just goes over Instagram and it makes you take a breath before you open the app. And it's crazy how taking one breath can break that habitual cycle. The other thing that I might do is put my phone into another room, and that might sound super simple, but the thought of going into my room or going into another room and getting up from where I am to go look for my phone to then go look at my phone is, I'm just too lazy. When my phone's not with me, it's out of sight, out of mind, and I don't really have that urge to go for it. The other thing that helps me is to get outside of myself, both in the physical sense and in the emotional sense. If I've been inside all day, one of the first things that I need to do is just go for a walk outside. And my apartment doesn't have a backyard, so taking that first step outside always reminds me how much space there is out there and how much bigger the world is than the confines of my mind and the confines of whatever room that I'm in. And it's almost like the longer I stay inside four walls, the more my thoughts seem to bounce off the walls and back into my head constantly. And it just puts me into this deep, deep spiral. So getting outside, I like to think of it as if my thoughts have space to just move wherever they want to go outside of my head, kind of diffusing out into the world. I love to just stand in the sun and just feel the sun on my skin, feeling that warmth on my face. It's reminding me of those little things that make it so wonderful to be alive when sometimes it's hard to find reasons why. It's also super important to speak to people, whether it be strangers, whether it be friends or someone you kind of know, but to have those little points of connection that really aren't so little. I find that it's always those moments that I remember the most, when it's some unexpected comment from a stranger that turned into like a little smile, or just those little interactions. For me, I'm super grateful for being able to teach at yoga studios, because it means that I'm forced to interact with people. And I love when I'm teaching and someone comes in and tells me about their weekend, and it could be the most seemingly mundane things. Like someone might be telling me about a barbecue that they had on the weekend with their family, and it might not be like super deep or like super existential, but it is so warming to my heart because it reminds me that there's so much life out there. Everything is so much bigger than myself. Last and most important things that I have to remind myself of is the transient nature of my moods and my emotions, knowing that life is this constant play of ebbing and flowing, of never staying in one spot. And I think it brings me a lot of comfort to know that even when I'm feeling quite shitty or quite low, that even that will pass. And when I go back into a better mood, knowing that that will also shift and change, life will be this forever back and forth between experiencing the highs and the lows, the ebbs and the flows. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for your time, thank you for your attention, thank you for listening. I hope you get outside and feel the sun on your skin and listen to some birds.